Welcome back, my magical friends. Light a candle and let's get ready for October. Halloween isn't really done here in Australia the way it is in other parts of the world, but for me personally, I love Halloween. I just think it's so much fun, so I wanted to give a little nod to it in my bullet journal. But it actually falls in the middle of spring here in Australia, so rather than going for autumnal colours and pumpkins, I wanted to go for some cool tones because it's going to start to get very warm very soon here, and I'm just going with this cloudy, celestial, moony, starry kind of theme. Let me slow things down here for a minute so I can show you how to draw these clouds. They're very easy. They give me a little bit of a Aladdin vibe. So they are just these puffy, curvy little mounds. So you want to make lots of little circular round shapes along the top, generally peaking at its highest point in the middle of the shape. You want to keep the bottom very flat, and the two bottom mounds, I like to keep them like little feet. Think of it like a macaron. I always like to start with the outline of my cloud and then colour it in after. I also like to make sure that the curl from some of the bigger puffs on the top of the cloud keep carrying on, not just for the silhouette but all the way into the cloud, and I like to colour them in a way that shows where those curls are so that later when I jump back in with a gold gel pen I can outline all of those and keep that shape. I'm using 3 Tombow dual brush pens for all of my colours in this layout. The purple that you'll see here is 636. The blue is the same one I used in my August setup, that's the 528, and the other one, it kind of looks black on screen, but it's actually a very dark navy, and it is the colour that I fell in love with that made me think of everything to do with this theme. It's the 569. I wanted to start placing out all of my clouds first so that I could make sure that this moon is hanging right behind them. I used a mug to make the pencil marks for this moon. It's actually very easy to do, so you can just pop it down on your page and draw a semicircle, and then move your mug over a little bit and draw another semicircle, and then take the mug away and connect up your points in a way that feels right to you, and then you've got a cute little moon. I'm using a Gold Sharpie to outline and then colour in my moon. You do want to be a little bit careful with this one. If you go over the one spot too many times with these coloured Sharpies, you can get a little bit of bleeding through the page, so try not to double over any spots, but they do leave a really nice metallic sheen on the page. And once I've got my moon down, I can finish up the cloud that goes behind it. I'm leaving my clouds empty on the facing page at the moment because I want to get in there with my fineliner and draw out my calendar before I pop down the colours for the rest of those clouds. But first, let's outline some of these clouds with a gold gel pen. I have 2 of these, a gold and a silver, and I'll be using both in this setup. They are both from Pentel. They're the hybrid gel grip pens, and they work really nicely. I used them in my September Lord of the Rings themed layout as well. If you'd like to see that, I will pop a link to him up in the cards for you. If you're super keen on anything you see me using in this video, jump into the description box. I've linked all of my supplies there, and I also have a blog post in case you'd like to see still photos with a bit more detail of any of these pages. And there are links in that blog post as well to everything that I use and everything that I have used in my previous journal layouts, at least for 2021. So just a bit of backstory on this layout. I saw that dark navy Tombow in Officeworks in July, and I tested it out on a bit of paper, and I just thought, oh my god, that would look so good with gold, and that was the birth of this entire Halloween setup. And so I have actually been itching to do this for so long. I'm trying to pace myself with this setup because I know that the gel pens can be a little bit smudgy if you touch them too soon after using them, if you close the book, turn the page, try to erase over them, anything like that. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm leaving enough time and working on other elements in between laying down the gel pen before I get in there with the eraser. The calendar on this facing page is one that I come back to quite often. My boxes are 4 spaces by 4 spaces in the Notebook Therapy original size Suki journal that I'm currently using. You do have to turn the book sideways to be able to use this particular layout. I am totally okay with that. To be perfectly honest, I don't actually find myself coming back to my calendar page all that often throughout the month. I kind of fill it out once at the beginning and then I don't think about it again, which is funny. I just work from my weeklies after that. One more very important detail to go on the cover page here. It is of course my October lettering. I'm using another metallic Sharpie. This one is silver. It's great because the Sharpies are almost like a paint pen, but they dry down so quickly. I do find you need to be a little bit careful erasing over the metallic ones. They can lose a little bit of their sheen. And if I had my time over, I'd probably move my October lettering a little bit to the left side, but I still like how it came out. Maybe nobody's as picky as me. I'm just going to thicken up those downward strokes to give it a bit more of a calligraphy effect. And I just wanted to show you how beautiful this looks in the light. Look at the shinies. Okay. My next page, these are all elements that I've had in my journal often, but I'm mixing up what goes together on a page, I guess, at the moment. I've been neglecting my goals section for the past few setups. I honestly just forgot about it, and I tend to look back at my previous month's setup to see what do I need to bring forward with me, and so I forgot about the goals page for a few consecutive months. So I'm making sure it's back in this time because I have missed it, and I'm popping it on the same page as my gratitude log. I'm just putting some more clouds down, just making sure I've got one of each color across each of these sections. And these are going to be my gratitude and goals sections. The gratitude part, I'll probably only have room for a couple of words or maybe just one word per day. I'm okay with that. I think that's totally fine. And the goals section, I haven't worked out how I'll use this yet, but it's just a nice, easily interpretable blank space. And on the facing page, I've got habit and mood trackers. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a sucker for a beautiful graphic mood tracker that's an illustration that you color in. I think that's so much fun. I honestly just didn't want to draw 31 of those clouds. It was just a bit too labor intensive for me, and it would have meant that I ended up with an uneven number of pages in this setup. So I'm going for something a little bit more data driven, I guess, just like a line. I haven't decided yet if I will use one color all the way across the mood tracker and just draw a line on a scale of how happy I am, or if I will alternate. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to lock it in. I'm going to have 3 colors just like I would if I was coloring in my mood tracker, but I'm just going to have the same sized line for each of them, just with those same 3 colors that I have been using so far throughout the layout, that I will continue to use throughout the layout. And here's a little bit of the star of the rest of this setup. This is some of the washi tape that I picked up from the Washi Tape Shop. I have a whole haul video on all of the stuff that I got. These guys very kindly reached out to me and asked if I would be keen to test out some of their things, and so I picked out a bunch of washi tapes specifically with this setup in mind because I knew I was doing something celestial and spacey and clouds and moons, and so I wanted some stars, some sparkles, some complementary colors to go with all of this. So the washi tapes that I'm using in this video are from their Starry Sky 2-piece washi tape set, and the Dreamcatcher 2-piece washi tape set, and also their Galaxy just single one. That cover page is kind of a work in progress the whole way through here, because as I use different washi tapes throughout the rest of the setup, I keep flipping back to it and thinking, can I add this somewhere here? Is there another way that I can bring some more glamour and sparkle to this page? So you'll see me go back there a bunch more times, and I may even throughout October head back there with those gel pens and just add some stars in the background. We'll have to see. If you'd like to see what changes over the course of October, make sure you jump onto Instagram and follow me at erinsmith.art so you can join in the October Halloween bullet journal adventures, I guess. The next couple of pages are a little bit utilitarian, I think, compared to some of the previous. It's my phone and sleep tracker, which I haven't actually done a phone usage tracker in my bullet journal before. Yes, I messed up the initials for the days. I had to fix that. I saw a sleep tracker with this setup, a phone and sleep tracker with this setup on Instagram on Veronica Journal's account, and I was like, oh, that seems confronting. I'm not sure I'd like to know how much time I spend looking at my phone each day, but it was really going to make the sleep tracker work on the page in a way that I could actually cover more of the night than I could if I was kind of just doing a sleep tracker on this page, which I've done in previous times, just as far as spacing and stuff works. So I was like, you know what, let's give it a go. I'm ready to be horrified at my phone usage, and maybe it's something that I'll carry forward. Maybe I'll never do it again. We'll have to wait and see. Onto the facing page. This is my spending tracker, and it is the same as always. 3 columns, twice over. Item category and cost rather, I think. I'm just keeping my headings consistent with the clouds and then some lettering in front of them. I'm not actually coloring in any of the, I guess, table headings this time around, just because there's already quite a bit of bold color going on the page, so I don't want to kind of confuse and take away from that. The more you draw these clouds, the easier they are. And I've just left a little bit of space at the bottom of the spending tracker to pop some more washi tape down. Okay, and we're turning the page, and the next spread is the reason why this video is potentially a little bit longer than my usual bullet journal setups, because I don't usually do these 2 pages, and I probably won't do them again unless it's another kind of time of year themed situation like this, because the playlist spread and the movie spread, look, as far as music, I listen to a lot of the same music month to month, over and over. So a playlist spread doesn't really make sense to me, but when it's Halloween themed, then it really does start to make sense to me because, it's a specific kind of vibe that you want at that time of year, I feel. So I've just given myself 6 dedicated clouds, and on each of these clouds I'm going to pop down some of my favorite Halloween tunes that I will probably be listening to for the entirety of October. 3 of them are from phenomenal Aussie bands, and I hope that you will go and check them out if you aren't familiar with Australian music, because we have some really incredible artists over here. Now this is looking pretty chill right now, but I am going to get in there with some washi tape and zhuzh things up a little bit. Just going to add a moon with my Sharpie up here because I just love how that navy, what number is it? 569, this 569 Tombow with the gold. I just am obsessed with that color combination. I kind of wish I'd leaned into it more. Maybe not had the lighter blue, but that's okay. I like how everything came together. Gonna pop some of these washi tapes down. These 2 are from the Starry Sky set. So beautiful. There are others available in that set, but these are the 2 that I wanted for this one. I'm sometimes cutting them into thinner strips so that I can fit more contrast on the page. I'm also trying to make sure that I'm getting as many sparkly stars down on the page as I can in any one go. And it's time to add these songs in. I'm using the silver gel pen and, of course, Michael Jackson's Thriller. It would be rude not to have it on this list. Ghouls by Vaudeville Smash, they are my absolute favourite Australian band, and they have an entire EP called V-Grade Horror that is perfect for Halloween. Beware Wolf by Gyroscope, another great Aussie band. Got to get a little bit of hard rock going on in there. The next one is Monster by Big Bang. This is from around the time that I first got into K-pop, and Big Bang kind of blew my mind, so I wanted to make sure there was a nod to some K-pop in there. Dragula by Rob Zombie is a big throwback to my high school days. And the last one is another Aussie band, Faker's song Teenage Werewolf, which I learned recently was actually about the lead singer coming out, so it's got some nice depth to it. But of course, werewolves. Who doesn't love a werewolf moment? I've also made a Spotify playlist of these songs that you can find in the description down below and also in my blog post that's about this particular setup. And I'll be adding to that as we go through the month too. So if you're getting ready for a Halloween party or something and you want to hang with me on Spotify, go and join me on that playlist, and I hope you have a good time and maybe discover some new Aussie music. The next page is for movies. So one of my friends, Emily, last year did an incredible Halloween movie project where she watched so many Halloween films and she documented it on her Instagram stories. And I was like, I kind of want to do that. But I don't know that I could do, 30 or something movies like she did last year. So I'm just keeping it to my top 6, just like on the opposite page, my top 6 songs for Halloween. It's interesting that all of my favorite Halloween movies are from the 80s and 90s, but so am I, so I guess it makes sense. I wanted to keep things looking wispy with that kind of cloud theme, so I'm making sure that my words kind of float off the edges of the page. Most of the time I'm doing that by starting on the second letter so that I can make sure there's a way for me to join the first one on to the edge of the page somehow. Anyway, my favorite Halloween movies are Hocus Pocus, Casper, The Addams Family, Gremlins, Practical Magic, and I've put The Craft down on here mostly just because I really want to watch it again. I haven't seen it since I was a teenager. I know there was a remake. I want to see if I can get my hands on the new version and give that a watch too, so let me know if you've seen any of these movies. Just going to outline the rest of my border clouds in some gold, and then it's time to get in here with, honestly, these are some of my favorite washi tapes that I have ever seen, but I'm actually going in and kind of using these as stickers. So this is from the Dreamcatcher washi tape set from the Washi Tape Shop. There is a version with a kind of sheer white backing and a version with a slightly more opaque black backing. And they both have these beautiful feathers and moons and crystals and so pretty. So I liked the idea of using them as stickers rather than a block of washi tape, as well as a block of washi tape in some other places, because I don't know, it's just a nice way to get some sparkle and some dimension onto the page. Let me pick this up and show you the sheen on it. And we're back into your regularly scheduled programming here. This is my weekly spread. I'm keeping things very similar to the past couple of months. I'm still very much into my running to-do lists. I'm keeping my events on the left side, my to-do list on the right. So I'm keeping things pretty simple here. I'm just going to alternate heading colors on the left side for these days of the week where I'll pop any events that I need to, or tasks that are especially time sensitive to specific days on the left side here. Mitsu's here to inspect. That feels very appropriate to have a cat come into my witchy bullet journal themed setup, as long as he stays away from the candle. And on the right side will be my running to-do list, and then in that negative space on either side, let's be real, weeklies can get a little bit arduous. By this point in the setup process, I usually just do the first one to show you, and I get in there and do the rest of my weeklies at a later date, because I've by this time usually been drawing in a notebook for at least an hour, sometimes 2, and I'm just kind of ready to go do something else. So I thought I'd go really easy on myself this time, and because I have all these stunning washi tapes, just exclusively decorate my weekly spreads with washi tape. So that's what I'm gonna do here. And I did still leave it a few days in between setting this particular weekly spread up and doing the rest of them, but it took me no time. It was so much easier than usual. I didn't have to draw anything, which is really nice. And I think it actually looks stunning. I hadn't used any washi tape in this particular bullet journal or my previous bullet journal. Basically this entire year I haven't used washi tape in my journal, and I kind of forgot how it gives your page like that extra bit of thickness. It feels a little bit more like fancy and leveled up, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So I'm using all 5 of the washi tapes that I've used previously in this setup. Trying to be careful with those Dreamcatcher washis to make sure that I'm not really severing feathers or cutting it off halfway through a design. And if you recall earlier, I cut some edges off some pieces of washi so that I could use them as stickers. Well, those corners, waste not, I'm going back to my October cover page and I'm sticking them down because they've got some nice starry moments on them, and I was like, I gotta get this on the page. They're too cute not to. And here we are, it's final flip through time. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. It's been really special to me to have you here, so I really appreciate you spending this time with me. If you'd like to see how this layout looks with some more pen on it as I use it for planning things in my life, because this is my real bullet journal and I actually use these spreads to plan things in my life, you can jump onto Instagram. The link is in the description down below. You can also jump onto my blog post if you'd like to see some photos of this setup. Sometimes it's difficult to see all of the details on YouTube, so I make sure to get some nice clear photos so that you can jump in and maybe use it for some inspiration if you'd like to. If you are into any of the washi tapes that I use in this setup, make sure when you jump onto the Washi Tape Shop, there is a link down in the description, of course, that you use my discount code ErinSmith10. So not only do you get some incredible washi goodness, but I can get you a little discount on there too. I'm not actually sure if I introduced myself at the beginning of this video or not, but my name is Erin, and I hope that I'll catch you again in another video here on my channel very soon. May your October blessed be, and I hope that you have a spectacular Halloween.